And we're good, ladies and gentlemen. This is Migz with Drive Tribe, and we're here with Jim Glickenhaus.
This is SCG003C. The C stands for Competizione, and the 3 is because it's our third model. My road-going T70 Lola was our first one. P45 Competizione, based on Ferrari P45, was our second one, and this is our third one. And what I tried to do here was to design and build a car that was using the aerodynamic principles of LMP1 cars. In the 60s, the thought was that you channeled the air over the car to the rear wing. The thing that LMP1 started doing was, can we sculpt away the car so that the air flows around the car to the wing? Now, the one problem in GT cars that a lot of GT cars have to go racing in is they have a very wide cockpit. I mean, if you look at these Ferraris, which are road cars, they have a windshield that's wall to wall. Now, part of that is that they have to sell cars they can get 350-pound guys in. But what we did is we built the cockpit to the minimum width that you were allowed to under the regulations. The other thing we did is, where there are minimum height regulations for fenders and things, we say this is our fender. So this is the minimum height. It allows us to sculpt away and to have less frontal area and drag. Now, the other thing that we do is, with the cockpit, as we've narrowed it and stuff, we try to make them very comfortable, because the one thing about endurance racing is, if you're getting cooked, if you can't hear, if you're uncomfortable in the seat, if you can't reach the controls, you can't be fast for a long time. So what we do is we have a lot of air inlets, and we have the rear view mirrors, which we're required to have, for regulatory reasons. But what we did is we mounted them in a place where they're not ideal for vision, but they actually tune the airflow, the drag vortices off the rear end plates. So to make it so you can see what we do is, next to the driver, you see we have the screens, so you see the rear view mirror component of what you're seeing. So when you drive, you really don't have to take your eye off the windscreen. And it's a very comfortable car to drive. Now, this car actually won in class at the Nürburgring, and it did its 633, and it got the pole position. So it's one of our most successful race cars. It's owned by a customer. He loves it. He keeps racing it, and it very likely may race next year at the Nürburgring and at the 24 Hours of Kota. And this is something that we did, and we do it on our road cars. When you come into the pits and you're fueling, most fires in the pits are caused by guys not knowing when to shut off. So this goes up as it fills, and when it gets full, you know you can stop fueling. And this lets you know if you need oil. So this is a liter, so it's 1/10 of a liter, and it tells you when you're down, you know you have to add oil. And this is pit ID. So at night, it changes. Each car is a different color, so when it goes by, our timers know which car it is at night, because at night it's kind of hard to see. But this car has many 24-hour races on it. It's going to race at the 24 Hours of Texas at Kota this year, and it's a real race car.
It's beautiful.
Carbon fiber chassis, carbon fiber body, and then what we did is, we started converting them to road cars. But in the road cars, you want a little bit more luxury. So as you can see, the interior is a lot more luxurious, and you can see when you turn it on, you can see the screens, and you can see the rear view mirror, you see. Now, the other thing is that we try to make it user-friendly. So rather than put a nav system in the car, it Bluetooth clones to your iPhone, and it can come up right on the screen right in front of you. So you can also play your music library to it. And we do things like this. We have 3 shock absorber settings. So we have a comfort, we have a track, we have a race. We can raise both the front of the car and the rear of the car, have lifters. And this is the viewports I was talking about. So when you come to a red light,
Right.
you can look up and you can see exactly, you know, when the light changes.
Well, it's good to go.
Yeah, it makes it usable. And then this was I was telling you about. This is the same
All right.
one car.
Yeah.
So that when you hit it, you know, you're not pranging $1 million worth of carbon fiber. You're just doing this, and it continues the whole length of the car. If you have any questions, here, so that when you bottom, you're bottoming on EPI, not on. And you can see that this is the natural carbon fiber. It's going to turn blue as the sunlight hits it.
Yeah, and then you've got this.
And we'll make this car completely in natural carbon fiber if you want, or we'll paint it or do any kind of interiors.
It's a very beautiful looking car.
This is the original Baja Boot. Look at this race history. 1967 to into the 80s. It won the Baja. I believe it won a mint too.
That's cool. That's very nice.
But this is the original Baja Boot that I bought. I just put a lot of miles on it, and I just said this would make a fantastic road car. I mean, a lot of the major guys like Lamborghini and Ferrari allegedly, and certainly Bentley and Rolls-Royce, and everybody's making a sport U. But, you know, are they going to race the Baja 1000? And I don't think so. So we're going to make a sport U that you can, you know, annoy your friends with in the Hamptons when you're invited to that party. You can just drive right up the lawn and over someone's Bentley, and but you can really race it on the Baja. So that's sort of what SCG is.
Very cool.
Then this is our 004, which is our less expensive model. It's you know, $440,000 as you see it. Has a 650 horsepower supercharged engine. It's a 3-seater, center driving, and you can get it with a real stick shift, a gated shifter if you want, or paddles. And then we're making sort of a retro GT4 looking car that's sort of a cross as a coupe. It looks like a Cobra Daytona. And as a Spider, it looks like what a 250 GTO Spider might have looked like.
Okay.
And that will make us a GT4, because we want all our cars to be race cars that you can drive on the road. And that's what SCG is. And you know, our shield, this is an alliteration of the handmade shield I did. And it's the torch from the Statue of Liberty. It's the font from the Declaration of Independence. That's my wife, that's me, that's team, and there you go.
That's cool.
Hi, how are you?
See you, man.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the interview and going over all the details. This is a wonderful experience, and definitely share this with everybody out there at Drive Tribe.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.